Hey, everybody, welcome to Comic Book Curation. I am Polly, and joining me, as always, is Jack from Bad Comic Reviews, just to screw up the order for quiz so he doesn't know what the hell's going on. Jack, how are you?
I'm all right.
I'm
How you
doing.
doing?
And rounding out our triumvirate of awesome, as always, is Inquisitor 8.1. Quiz, how are you doing? Confused?
No, yeah, I can still carry the show, Polly.
You'd like to think you can, but nobody can carry this weight that I Adonis-like heft over, no, Atlas-like heft over my shoulders. What did Adonis do in Greek mythology? Was he just a pretty man?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Is that all he had going for him?
Well,
Is he just
in Greek mythology, Adonis is the god of beauty and desire.
really?
So,
That seems like a pretty cake job.
No shit. Like
right?
what a lazy man's position in the pantheon. I just sit here and be
Right?
pretty. Who are you, Chris Hemsworth?
What are you doing?
What the fuck?
Yeah, like I'm just doing my job, looking all awesome and shit. Oh,
Adonis courted
that's
Aphrodite, says Ham and Beans. Yeah, that sounds about like the kind of things he would do. He just courts the ladies. Kind of his whole job. So there we are. Man, it's a strange week. You know, we got to talk about Chadwick Boseman, which I'm really unhappy about, but we got to talk about what all of the vultures and people out there in social media and stuff are doing with Chadwick Boseman dying. And I don't mean everybody. I mean the vultures who are circling after his death, you know. It fucking sad, man. And of all weeks, we're not only going to be talking about Chadwick Boseman, but also Mark motherfucking Ruffalo.
And see, we're not one-trick ponies. We didn't put his name in the fucking title.
I did think about it though. I really
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm sure we did.
I thought about encouraging it, but
I don't even know where we want to start this week. Oh, I know where we'll start this week. I'm going to explain why we're starting so late, because we did want to start earlier and we were ready to go for quite a while, but we had to wait for Inquisitor to get his food delivered. And apparently he ordered pasta.
Yes.
Now, if you hear some kind of squishy, noise during the stream, it's not him eating. That's quizzing his fleshlight. Saying.
well, why can't he do both?
Yeah, I was gonna say I have two hands.
Don't eat and jerk at the same time, man. That's disgusting.
It worked for George Costanza for a while.
What? He didn't.
You never saw
No,
that?
he didn't eat and
Seinfeld,
jerk. He ate and had sex.
Yeah, well, this can make love to his flesh.
I remember that episode because that's the one where he meets the woman that also finds cured meat sensual.
Yeah.
Remember when the woman at the end of the episode, Jack pulls out the pan of pastrami that was curing in the oven, and she goes, I find pastrami the most sensual of all the cured meats. And it's like, what the fuck is happening? And what's sad about that is that I only realized who that woman was because she played a recurring role on Star Trek Enterprise, and I wanted to know who that actress was and why all of a sudden she was written out of the show or just didn't appear in the show anymore. It's because she died.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
And it's like, oh, she tragically died in the middle of filming. They were going to have her as an ongoing recurring character throughout the entire series, but they couldn't because the actress passed away tragically at a shockingly young age because of an aneurysm, if I remember correctly. And it's like, oh, she was in Seinfeld? Is who? As the woman that shared George's weird pastrami kink. Sad. Well, on that light note, where should we start? We got some Russia Today articles. Go figure.
Oh, let's get Chadwick Boseman out of the way.
Do you want to start there?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Let's start there because it is the title. Fair enough. Good call. We won't be clickbaity like everyone else and wait to get around. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do it in the reverse direction out of a sense of common propriety and the fact that I actually really like Chadwick Boseman. As we talked about before, I thought he did a pretty good role as T'Challa, or a good job as T'Challa. And he wasn't an asshole, and as we came to find out, faced his illness with incredible bravery, apparently, because he just didn't talk about it. And going through surgeries and chemotherapy during the filming of Black Panther, didn't mention it, didn't make himself the center of attention. Damn. You know? I'm just sharing the screen. So I kind of want to talk about the Vultures before I talk about him himself, because I don't think we should go, onto the Vultures afterwards, because that's weak. Hold on.
Yeah.
Just rearranging. You guys can see what's happening. Waiting for my potato to catch up. Article capture. Yeah, let's start with the Vultures. Journalists used the passing of Black Panther actor Chadwick Boseman to promote vice presidential candidate Kamala Harris.
What?
Yeah, actually, yeah. But
how? How are those two things related?
Well, you'll see. He tweeted about her, and it's like, okay, he can support whoever the fuck he wants, if you know what I mean.
Mhm.
You'll see how it happens. Like, it's not just this. This is just the one vulturism that I wanted to focus on because of the amount of blue check marks and news entertainers that came out to do this, right? There were lots of people that went full Wakanda forever with it and went, Black Lives Matter with it and the whole freaking 9 yards with this guy dying because his name was trending because he passed away. So let's attach our message to this guy's passing to get it into trending. The bottom of the barrel is scraped clean, But so here you'll find out how a handful of journalists have drawn attention to Black Panther and Defy Blood star Chadwick Boseman's last tweet before his tragic passing. It seems they're doing so in an attempt to promote the candidacy of Democratic vice presidential candidate Kamala Harris. Yes, they are. On August 11th, following an announcement of her nomination as the running mate for Democratic presidential candidate Joe Biden, Boseman published a photo of himself with Harris alongside the caption enthusiastically read, "Yes, Kamala Harris!" exclamation mark. And there's the tweet, right? There's a tweet that had been taken previously, or the picture that had been taken a while back, and Boseman tweets this out, right? So what does everybody do? Because this is his last tweet before it wasn't a sudden death, but nobody expected to come on that quickly, from what I understand, if you know what I mean. It's just he went downhill quite fast and now ended the way it did. In the wake of Boseman's untimely passing, various American journalists seized the opportunity to promote the Biden-Harris campaign. They also made it a point that this was Boseman's last tweet before his death. Those who drew attention to the photo included MSNBC's Last Word senior producer Kyle Griffin. Yep. Chadwick Boseman's final tweet. And then, hashtag when we all vote, hashtag vote 2020. Gee, what are you up to, Kyle Griffin, blue checkmark scumbag? CNN and The View host, Anna Navarro. Screw you, Anna Navarro. You bone-picking vulture scum, you. Who said this? This was his last tweet. R.I.P. Yeah, it's just pure accent. This is his last tweet, and this is the way that I view things politically. Total coincidence. I'm just paying honor as a blue check mark to Chadwick Boseman. I'm not looking to promote this thing at all. Ignore that it's in trending right now. Jake Tapper, blue check mark scumbag. His last tweet. Aw, wow. You're really looking to honor his memory, and it has nothing to do with promoting Kamala Harris, does it, you independent, objective news entertainer? Fuck these people, man. Ham and Bean says, I hate Anna Navarro more than I hate mundane Matt, and that's saying something. Yeah, Anna Navarro, man. When you... Jack Quiz, you still there?
Hey.
Yeah.
Hey,
Okay.
hold on. Don't say Monday Matt. He'll flag us and get our stream cut off.
Forgot about that, yeah. The reason, I've repeated a number of times that, as much as I hate news entertainers, and people are like, why do you say news entertainers? Because it's the most insulting thing I can think to call them. You can call them all sorts of dirty names, but really news entertainers are the most insulting thing because that's what they are. Actors, dramatists. And if you call them that right to their face, they would be extremely offended. Believe me. I'm a professional journalist. No, you're not. You're no different than The View. You're a bunch of people sitting around a table expressing opinions on current events. You're attempting to dramatize current events for the sake of gossip. That's what you are. You're professional gossiping dramatists. You're not journalists at all. What is the best evidence possible of this? Because Anna Navarro went from CNN to The View. I mean, think about that for a second.
Yeah.
She's right at home on The View. Why? Because it's sitting around with a bunch of other chatty Cathys gabbing about current events in a gossipy fashion. Yeah. Modern journalism. Yes. Yashir Ali, Chadwick Boseman's last tweet. Yeah, I know, blue checkmark, you're involved. While many were outraged and upset by the tasteless use of Boseman's passing as a political tool, the sentiment among fans was to be summed up by Twitter user Acumen. As he stated, if you're using Chadwick Boseman's death right now to push a political agenda to get people to vote for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, you're a shit human being. He meant so much to black kids everywhere. He helped them see themselves as heroes, all while battling this illness. Yep, there you go. Was it too soon for journalists to draw attention to Boseman's support of Harris? In such a naked, obvious, transparent scumbag fashion? Yes. It's little, because it's like this. It's gossip. How do you know? Because it's like me elbowing you. Hey, Jack, you know who supported Kamala Harris? The person who just died. Did you know that? Oh my God, are you serious? Yeah, totally serious. For real though. And then you tell someone and you tell someone, that's all it is. It's elbow rubbing.
For real,
Yeah.
real.
It's a gossiping social circle, just magnified by the internet. All the blue check marks talking to each other. So yeah, those are the rotating vultures, in my opinion.
Yes.
So I wanted to do that first to get it out of the way, because I actually thought this was Letitia Wright, who's Chadwick Boseman's co-star in Black Panther, who I also thought did a good job. Her words in eulogy to him, eulogizing him online, I thought were really nice. I didn't think they were boilerplate, all shall miss him type statements. And because I really dug Chadwick Boseman's job there, and Letitia's too, yeah, why not just read it? She provided a touching voiceover, saying in part, and I hope she didn't misspell that. It was just you. An angel, earth departed. An angel, earth departed. A soul so beautiful. When you walked into the room, he was calm. He always moved you with grace and ease. Every time I saw you, the world would be a better place. Words can't describe how I feel, how we all feel, that losing you is forced upon us. To accept this as the new reality. I wish I could have said goodbye. Yeah, that's often the way people do feel. I messaged you a couple of times and I thought you were just busy. I didn't know you were dealing with so much. Against all odds, you remained focused on fulfilling your purpose with the time that was handed to you. And all that's left now is for us to allow the seeds of what you have planted on earth to grow, to blossom and to become ever more beautiful. You're forever in my heart. Yeah, well said. Well said. Rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman, man. 43, far too young. Far too young.
Too young.
I mean, you see them pictures of him going and visiting all the kids with chemotherapy and not making it about him, not even telling them that not even making himself the center of attention, just trying to cheer him up.
Yeah, I would say that was, and you noticed what charity it was too.
No,
right?
I didn't. What was it?
It was taking part.
Was it St. Jude's? Nice. Wow. See?
St. Jude's is, in my opinion, the best charity, bar none. It is the only charity to give 100% of its proceeds directly to its cause.
Yeah, so it's like, it seems like a pretty much a stand-up guy. I mean, obviously I didn't know him personally, but like to present yourself in a I'm the center of everything kind of way, charitable way, to have this illness and not make that everything while filming this major film. Yeah, man, good on you. It's 43's too. Rest in peace. And it makes it all the much worse what people are doing with it after the fact, but it is.
Well, let these people not let a tragedy go to waste.
Yeah.
It's all about political power and seizing the opportunity.
Never let a crisis go to waste,
It's
and never let a tragedy go either, apparently.
Yeah. It's disgusting, but that's how and why it happens.
You know what I think? It's tough to know what to segue over to after something like that, but how about just like nonsensical confusion?
Sure.
You mean feminism?
I'm not really sure what this is, actually. By the way, The Sinatra's in chat.
That
Fuck, that sucks. Oh well. He says, I don't know, man. I know they've been spending something substantial on mailing me stuff every week, Lamau. Well, clearly that message wasn't for me because I have no idea what you're talking about. Where was I going with this? I forget. All right, look, here's the article. Superhero movies have never seemed more obscene by Disha. She's like Cher or Madonna or Zendaya. She only has one name. By Disha.
Singing.
What?
Well, no, he's Gandalf.
Or Gandalf.
Or like Gandalf the white supremacist, am I right?
Well, he's the only one that changes his surname without getting married.
Yeah, and he's the only one that recruited a bunch of people of different races to go do his bitch work. Yeah. Gandalf, white supremacist.
Oh, St. Jude's. That's what he was. Okay, right. It's just context, Sinatra. My God, man.
Well, Sinatra, you should give to him then.
So why this is an opinion piece and it's at the Guardian, and I hear a bunch of people say that no, the Guardian's fine because they have quality research and news. I hear that in lots of different places. Yes, but their opinion sections are trash, and their editorial board are a bunch of news entertainer scumbags, in my opinion. As best evidenced by this article, that how the hell did this confusing, nonsensical, almost schizophrenic article actually get published? This is awesome. Quiz, you're going to love this.
Oh, I can explain how that got published.
Shoot.
I can explain it too. One word. Bidisha.
I can explain it with a sound effect.
I thought, see, I need to be like, speaking of Sinatra, and have like a sound pad set up, because man, I need that slide whistle, like that noise. It would cover so many things. They might save the cinema, but the public doesn't need vengeance and spandex right now. We need voting and vaccines. Batman and Wonder Woman just don't cut it. Okay? Wait till you see where she takes this, because
Batman needs to develop a vaccine. Does she think Batman's real?
Well, if Batman is a bat, then he's got all of the diseases. You know?
Yeah, she probably thinks Batman spread this, but in fact it was Kirk Langstrom, Man-Bat.
Yeah, exactly.
Raymond Bruce Wayne, bitch.
No worries. Thank you, Gamer Valine, for the $5. He was from Western South Carolina. His interaction with small-town police may have given him a different perspective on corruption. Anderson, South Carolina isn't a big town with only a 25,000 person population.
Thank you, Manic, with no message. Thank you.
Yeah, well, Manic's awesome like that. In tough times, you need a hero. But when do you need a superhero? DC Comics' recent virtual showcase, Fandom, unveiled the trailers for Patty Jenkins' blah, 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 lots of big movies coming. I'm exhausted by just typing that. Surely superheroes and their huge, vaulting, save-the-universe narratives look laughably unimportant at this time. I mean...
Oh, fuck that bitch.
Yeah, it's just... Wait, the end of the article, she will hypocritically undermine everything she's saying. So... Yeah.
Well, yeah, I sent you this.
Yeah, Jack did send me this one, and I thought, okay, let me go read this. And by the end of it, I was just like, what the fuck did I just read? You ended up backtracking on everything you just said, and everything you said was schizophrenic and confusing. But
hold on, let me grab a
sure.
thing here. Thank you, Manic, for the donation with no message. Appreciate it. That's very generous of you.
Being awesome. I'm exhausted just typing that. Surely superheroes and their huge vaulting save-the-universe narratives look out laughably unimportant at this time. The thing I already read. But moving on. I mean, I love spandex and cosmic plot-fueling MacGuffins as much as anyone, which she will go forth to disprove. But this slew of multi-million-dollar super releases seems obscene. It emphasizes the gap between the Hollywood hype machine and the real struggles of pretty much everyone on this pandemic-stricken planet, except for a very few rich individuals. And thank you, Manic, for the $10. You are awesome. And you get the Spider-Man infinitely kicking Magneto. Thank you very much for the donation with no statement. Well, who needs a statement? Manic's awesome. Let's leave it at that.
Yeah, we all love Manic.
Before all of this, the gap between fantasy and reality was the point. I didn't think Superman was a documentary about a highly skilled Kryptonian refugee who wanted to work in the multimedia and do community outreach on the side. Superhero films.
Wait. Multimedia. There's no multi. It was just a newspaper reporter.
No, man. He's doing videos on the Daily Planet online Instagram site, whatever.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Filters and duck lips and everything.
Yeah.
Superhero films are popular for a reason. They're dynamic, imaginative, and exciting. They can carry big ideas and big action simultaneously, and their stars combine the prowess of athletes with the charisma of movie idols. They enable us to sublimate our desires for justice, for drama, for importance, in cathartic, thrilling ways. Now let's listen while she undermines everything she just said. But look what happens when an actual real-world straddling evil arrives. We bungle it. We cower. We're uncertain and indecisive. We try our best. We endeavor to look after ourselves and the people around us. We're changed and humbled. We rely not on chosen ones with literal names. The Silver Surfer is called the Silver Surfer because he's silver and surfs. Fuck you, Badisha. Silver Surfer's epic. Okay, but on medical research.
She's a Badisha, so she bids and dishas.
Yeah, I bet she has problems riding a horseback on the beach till she talks to her mom. Look, she did say something about the gap between fantasy and reality, something like that, right? That was a paragraph back, right? The gap between fantasy and reality was the point. Now, what she's talking about there, the only gap like that I recognize is the thigh gap. This woman has no idea what she's talking about. She's uneducated about not only thigh gaps and the gap between fantasy and reality, which is what that is, and comic books. She doesn't know what she is talking about. She knows nothing about comics. It's very apparent. This is just a bunch of nonsense drivel to cash your paycheck. Please continue.
No problem. No, I agree. We're changing handled. Oh yeah, she says Silver Surfer sucks because his name's so literal. But on medical research, a movie called The Researcher wouldn't break the bank at the box office. Okay, this is when the schizophrenia begins. I don't really want another friendless caped crusader drearily putting on the goth of Gotham. I'm tired of Midnight Grudge Batman. What about chirpy Craigslist advertising grifter odd jobs Batman with a bat van?
That's not Batman.
That's boring. Nobody wants to watch that shit. And by the way, Sinatra can show up on time, so he's better than you.
You know what?
Yes.
Well, yeah, I read it before. He didn't need to tell me again. I decided to ignore it, but thank you for making that impossible, Jack. Jesus.
Yes, nicely. I like Sinatra.
Well,
nice guy.
Oh, he's a nice guy. Yeah. Sinatra's a nice guy like Far's a nice girl. They're nice at sometimes, and other times they're handing out hell and pretending they're like the other way the whole time. It's like I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah, but rumor has it that Glock is king. I have an unreliable information.
Did he write? Motherfucker, he did. Oh, man, you're in lowdown shitposty mode today. Jesus.
Hey, at least he can show up on time, and that makes him better than you. That
makes the entire entire internet better than me. What's your point? That's a bad yardstick to use. Fuck.
Can I report that Glock is king comment? I think I need to. I feel compelled.
That's hate speech.
Yes.
What's being hated on?
Well, just reality, because it's so horribly wrong.
Over muscled, ill-informed gun reviewers on YouTube. You're hating on them.
I'll take Glock over High Point any day.
You know, most people would.
When I run out of bullets, I can beat you to death with my gun.
Yeah, because that thing's a fucking paperweight.
Yeah, I showed up lately for a side thing Sinatra was doing over on Twitch. But I had to run out for a minute, and I didn't think it was going to take me that long, and I thought he was going to be streaming on Twitch for like 2 hours. I show up, and he's wrapping up the show. Oops.
Yeah, we should really get like an alarm clock and tie it to one of those dog shot collars. That'll keep you on time.
Yeah,
that sounds like a terrible fucking idea. What the hell? Okay, so back to Badisha.
You said it wrong. It's a Badisha.
Wow. Let's stop there so I don't have to go back and edit this stream. This isn't Tucker Tuesday where it goes offline immediately afterwards because we want to eliminate the evidence. Okay. I'm tired of Midnight Grudge Batman. What about blah, blah, blah? Batman, it makes no sense. Having all seen all the Batmans since, God damn it, hold on. Johnny Hellcat, thank you for the $5. She goes by one name. Clearly a self-important tart. Yes. Yes. If you attempt to do that, you're trying to, like, Zendaya is the ultimate example. I mean, Madonna, what other self-obsessed, narcissist, overly self-promoting crazy people do we need this evidenced by? But, you know.
I think this is like a throwback to the 70s because you had a lot of people with one name back then. You had Cher, Madonna was coming in at the end of the 70s, Liberace.
Yeah.
So I think she's just trying to recapture some sort of like 70s glory.
Then how do you explain Beyonce?
Well, first of all, you need to say her name correctly. It's the Beyonce.
Yes.
I don't try and explain anything that dude
Well,
does.
let's see. Where were we? Oh, this is when shit gets really weird, Quiz. Pay attention, okay? Because it's hard to follow. Okay. Having seen all the Batmans since Tim Burton's 1989, what I really need to see now is all the Batmans except Ben Affleck fight. Then get it in on a giant cage, peeling off each other's titanium body armor with can openers and making each other's rubber cloaks squeak. Affleck, whose unshaven Dark Knight looked like a middle-aged alcoholic who cheated on his wife with a nanny, would gentle about, sighing heavily and squirting baby oil in through the cage bars.
That's weirdly specific.
Fuck are you talking about?
What the fuck are you talking about?
You want to see all the Batman actors strip each other out of their armors and oil wrestle? Well, Ben Affleck chortles on? What are you...
But Disha's a thirsty ass woman.
Yes, that's a very specific fetish. But you know, I'm not judging on that front. I got some weird kinks of my own, but it strikes me as having some sort of underlying issue with Batman, like some weird daddy thing. I don't know. This chick's got.
Well,
some
wait till she
issues,
gets on
I
to
think.
Wonder Woman. It gets even just more hilarious. Let's see.
Yeah, she seems to be pretty focused on
At
Batman.
break time, the Batmans could compare makeup tips. I noticed that Christian Bale favors a crisp edge, which I imagine he puts on with an expensive, professional quality something brush, while Robert Pattinson opts for a more softer, more blendable, smoky sheen. What are you talking about? I thought you were talking about superhero films being obscene. Are you trying to make that case right now? I'm not catching it. What the fuck?
Yeah, it says this is her fantasy. I'm pretty sure that she was watching like Batman Returns and saw that new trailer during a commercial break. At the same time, a L'Oreal commercial came on, and she was either tripping balls or smoking dope. Not sure which.
Well, what's really odd about all of this is that it's just veered off into left field just immediately. Like there was no easy transitions at all. It's just a straight 90 degrees.
You gotta get paid, man. Words are every word is a penny. This is the Dickens model.
I was just saying, yeah.
Fill in random shit.
This is pretty much just saying, all work no play makes Jack a dull boy over and over and over again, just to fill the page.
Well, wait. Here comes the Wonder Woman stuff. Hey, what's up, Lion Patriot, Rough City Podcast? How's it going? If Wonder Woman really cared about the world, she would do 2 parallel master's degrees in climatology and election integrity. She is from ancient Greece, the birthplace of democracy, after all. Her Amazonian sisters could host seafood barbecues on the beach and have dawn yoga sessions that they would upload to Instagram as lockdown FOMO inspiration.
What the fuck are you talking about?
That's what I'm saying. What are you talking about, lady? And it keeps going. Instead of the Black Widow, the Avengers' Natasha Romanoff, returning home to confront her violent past, she could go back to cook Sunday lunch and host a talking circle where everyone voices their truth and there's a no interrupting rule.
Or you could go get revenge. Revenge is way better.
What the fuck?
Fuck is a talking circle?
Some hippie chick thing. I don't know.
It's sort of like where chicks sit around and complain
Oh,
like The
Yeah.
View.
sounds terrible.
Yeah, it's awful. Women are awful. I'm sorry. I mean, most women are awful.
Cinema heroes have always played it big, leaping across the screen in a single bound. But we don't need vengeance now. We need voting and vaccines. We need laughs, equality, wholesome whimsy, and justice of the most profound and everyday kind. Daily dedication, community, and compassion matter much more than a fight on a collapsing bridge in a hailstorm while an army of robots zap skyscrapers with lasers. Failing that, I'm hitting up Amazon Prime for my guilty pleasure. Any romantic comedy set in New York in which the main couple end up kissing in the rain while everyone in nearby traffic jam honks in support. So you don't like superhero escapism, but you are more than willing to support at the end of the article romantic movie escapism, undermining everything you just argued.
Yeah.
Well, no, because superhero movies are for boys and they're icky. Why can't they just like things that I like?
Well, this entire article is a stop liking things I don't like post. This is who published
The
this?
Guardian.
Can I talk to their manager?
Quiz goes Karen. Oh my God.
Real quick, thank you, Johnny Hellcat, for the donation. The therapist told her not to publish her Jungian Red book.
Man.
Is it? Please tell me at least this is an opinion.
Yeah, this is an opinion piece. Yeah. It's just like,
Okay.
Did you just want to say stuff that was going on with elections and shit and tagged it with opinion, Batman? Is this really an opinion on Batman, or is the Batman trailer just came out? You want to rant and rave about stuff, so you forcibly connected it to superheroisms when really what you wanted to say is everyone should care more and do yoga, and elections are bad because the people I want to win don't, and vaccine.
Let's say this is literally the
Yeah.
article.
Ebony Williams is seriously, what is this? I don't know. I think it was just by Badisha. It's just Badisha's like needed to put something out, so she connected it to things trending and stuff she wanted to talk about, which was general good feelings, elections, and vaccines. And this is the weird result. Thank you, Gamervillian, for the $5 donation. Sig Sauer leads the way. Yes, Sig Sauer does lead the way. You are correct. If I'm beating people up with my gun, it's my Mosin. I don't. Yeah. A Mosin the gun is a good beating people rod. You're right. I don't want to shoot the intruder hiding behind my neighbor's fridge. I don't need to shoot the intruder hiding behind my neighbor's fridge. Yeah, well, fair enough.
Well, Mosin's good for that too.
I mean, seriously, why Glock when you can P320? Just saying. I'm kidding. Glocks are fine. Just for the record, my only problem is people that think they're the hammer of Thor, death ray, end all be all of semi-automatic handguns. They're not. If it was 1988, that might be true, but it's been a while since then, and Glock has changed. Oh, well, not at all. Anyway, let's move on. So we can go from schizophrenia to what? What should we move on?
I don't really know. Not that crazy bad.
Oh, we got an annoying quick article that we can handle fast here. She-Ra creator Noelle Stevenson apologizes for racially charged joke during live stream.
Yeah, this cracked me up.
Yeah.
And she's getting canceled by her fans.
And what was funny to me about this is like, I was like, what did you say? Wait till you see what she said.
It's actually not as bad as I thought it was going to be.
TLDR, they had a character design concept of a black guy with a straw in his teeth, and they made a vaguely stereotypical Song of the South-esque reference, and that was enough to get her canceled.
She responds, "Hey everyone, I made a very careless statement in today's stream that hurt a lot of capital black fans and fans of color. The implication, Fox. The implication did not occur to me, and that lapse in judgment is a fully 100% on me. How could you possibly have a lapse of judgment if you were oblivious? You didn't judge anything because you weren't aware that there was something to be evaluated.
Look, words are hard, all right?
It's just, yeah. I apologize wholeheartedly, and I'm sorry, rather, for the hurt caused and trust lost. Okay, guys, I'm not gonna lie. I just took 100 milligrams of pseudoephedrine, so just things might get weird. Just saying.
Well, those are the best
I'm
foods.
just saying, I was feeling a little dizzy, so I took a little pseudoephedrine, and the reading might get less smooth, and my jokes might make continually less and less sense.
In that case, we should have saved that crackpot article for later.
Yeah, right?
Make even less sense.
Oh fuck. I take responsibility for creating a safe and positive space for Fox. I just like Fox, FOCs. And I failed in that today. Thank you for making your voices heard. You didn't thank them for telling their truth? Oh. And for white and non-black fans. Oh, where's the capital B? You racist woman. Please remember that I do not need defending and do not harass or add emotional labor to those hurt by this. Hey, hold on. Seriously, I just want to ask you a quick question. Who's surprised the side of her head is shaved? She's talking about emotional labor, capital B black, circles of safety. I mean, son of a
You
bitch.
never read Lumberjanes, have you? Comic book she produced.
No, I never have. What's that about?
Oh yeah, there's character designs in there, half-shaved heads.
That's the haircut of the time, the hero haircut. All strong, independent women need their side of their head shaved. It's just the way things are, unfortunately.
Well, especially for someone espousing their truths while being also professionally gay, which is what Noel Stevenson is.
Okay, so here's the joke, just to get it out. I had to scroll up and down to find it. Okay, the joke concerned Bo, a character of color, a cock, if you will, and how the writers well, I mean, think about fans of color, characters of color, persons of color, voters of color, VOCs, and it's like
a character of color is
I really think that you guys are beginning, because they say POCs and POCs. I've actually heard people pronounce POC as a word, POC, like in standard news entertainment. I heard it on MSNBC. I think you guys need to stop with varying this. It should just be person of color or voting people of color, whatever. Like creating infinite variance just, I was about to say it diminishes the significance of the word, but isn't that what they do? Water down meaning of things that they want to have meaning?
Yeah.
Like I'm talking for your benefit here. I mean, it lessens what you're attempting to do to keep doing that. But anyway, there's a character named Bo, and they decided to name all of his siblings, and how they decided to name all of his siblings, including one who's a field worker. Quote, all of Bo's brothers, their names rhyme with Bo. So there's Oboe, who plays the oboe. Go, like Van Gogh, and he's missing an ear, she said, adding that there was a joke about, quote, which one of Bo's brothers likes to till the field? To which the answer was, so. So the character is black? I don't know. Is it? So the character is black and he's a field worker, and you said so?
As in he's a field worker, not in the house.
I understand the implication. I'm just wondering, like, how attached is really the joke? Like, is he actually a field worker, or she just couldn't think of a way to explain his name, so she said that?
No, that is what she said. That is literally a quote of what she works in the fields, and his name is So.
The character actually works in the field? I'm not saying what she said. Do you know what the...
Yes.
So you made the field worker black? Like, that seems like the weird part. As a...
Yeah, well, the character that they've already established is black.
Yeah, Bo is black. And all his siblings are also
Well,
black.
I personally don't think there's anything wrong with a black farmer. I don't know where these racists are getting their problems from.
Exactly.
That's the thing, though. This apparently was a joke that they were talking about behind the scenes, and she accidentally brought into a live stream. So they're casually racist in their meetings, by their own standard, not by any rational human beings.
Well, it's funny because the people that are getting all up in arms about it are the same people they were kowtowing. So the audience you get is the audience you asked for. And if they are now willing to throw you out with the bathwater, Noel Stevenson, did you really want that audience? Just gotta ask that question.
Well, again, we're talking about people that are what's the polite way of saying stupid? They're differently abled in the cognitive field, and they thought that everything they do is good and pure and righteous, but really they're the most despicable, judgmental people I've ever seen. And they're usually the most racist, quite honestly. So I'm not surprised by this, but I think that the comment was fairly innocuous and she could have covered pretty quickly by saying he's a farmer,
Mm-hmm.
but not that smart. And this is what she gets for being such a giant cunt to the original She-Ra fans. Oh shit, I can't say that word.
Actually, she could
sorry.
have done an effective turnaround on this. I know it wouldn't have happened because that's not the circle she moves in, nor the fans she courted. I hear you, Jack. But in an ideal world, he's a farmer. And it's like, yeah, don't you think that's a little bit racist? Wait a minute. Are you trying to connect field working slavery black folks with the fact that this black character is a farmer? That's kind of a racist reach a little bit, don't you think? Like, turn it around. It's like, you don't think black people should be farmers because slave history? What the fuck's wrong with you? Yeah, make them weird. But I know that wouldn't have happened.
But yeah, it's one of those things that this is her chickens coming home to roost. She was crapping all over the original She-Ra fans who were upset about her iteration and how it was very boyish. And now she does something that her fans don't like, and they turn on her, and she's surprised by it. I think this is just karma.
Yeah. Hey there, Pop-Tart. Always nice to have Pop-Tart show. Here's a quick article that I found funny because, I don't know, salt, I guess. Daisy Ridley reveals work offers were scarce after the Star Wars sequel trilogy concluded. Really?
I got something.
I wonder.
I mean, poor Daisy. She's a pretty girl. She's not a bad actress. I mean, she didn't have a lot to work with. Is it really her fault? I don't know. I feel bad for Daisy Ridley.
I don't think so. I agree. I think she's an okay actress. I've seen other work.
Yeah, and you got to admit, like, usually working in Star Wars or anything that's extremely genre specific is a career killer. It's rare to not become pigeonholed as that thing. I mean, Harrison Ford is the rare exception. The other actors had a very difficult time breaking away from the original Star Wars series, right? I mean, take a look at Jake Lloyd's career. My God. Anyway.
Jake Lloyd.
He played annoying Anakin.
He played young.
Yeah, he turned into a weird, fat, alcoholic drug addict, I think. Pretty sure. Anyway.
The guy who played Jar Jar Binks almost killed himself.
Is that true?
Yeah. It's he was pretty bummed out. I don't think that guy should have got the hate. The character was annoying. He was fine.
Genty Maxie says, I think she was just there to do her work. Oh, I'm positive she was doing fucking cartwheels. I got picked as the protagonist in this new Star. This is the fight. Yeah! And it's like, what the hell did she know about it? I mean, she's just a pretty actress who's totally capable and was handed the most vapid lines on earth to read.
Like, I am willing to go out on a limb here and say, despite her not being in my wheelhouse, I will bone Daisy Ridley to make her feel better.
Yeah. And Midnight Exile's right. Like, I joke about Jake Lloyd, but holy shit. The hate that people had for that character and the writing was visited upon him in a big way. He's not wrong.
Yeah.
In a recent interview, Daisy Ridley revealed that she had trouble finding acting work after Star Wars concluded. Ridley discussed the absence of work offers presented to her during a recent interview with Entertainment Weekly. The interview focused primarily on a role in the upcoming video game, 12 Minutes. During the interview, Ridley recalled how she felt a sense of panic after Star Wars: The Rise of Fake Skywalker, because nothing was coming through in the months after its release. When the film was released, I was like, oh my God. It was such a big, huge chapter. Oh, I thought it was such a huge crapper. I was like, really? Ridley came out and said that?
Yeah.
It was, though. Ridley told Entertainment Weekly. She proceeded to describe her current career status as recovering from the past few months of not having much, but explains that, well, obviously now it's really nice to be working. Her lack of work allowed her to process the last 5 years. Hey, Ridley, it's not your fault. To be forced to slow down. It was good mentally for me because Star Wars was a big thing in my life, explained Ridley. I was like, aw, no one wants to employ me. Oh, Jesus. Oh no. No, listen, it's not you. Ryan Johnson's the one who's going to be in your spot. It's not you. You'll get hired again. He will be the poltergeist of Hollywood. Everyone fearing he's going to show up somewhere and haunt them.
No, he won't. Knives Out did incredibly well, and it's an extremely well received movie.
Now,
He won't do another Star Wars. Well, we don't even know about that either.
I have
But-
faith that this will haunt him for the rest of his life.
Oh, I'm sure that there were people who won't let him forget it, and he'll just sit there and pour out his wine glass onto the table and laugh his way to his multi-million-dollar bank account.
Look how sexy she looks in the old time get up with the clothes and the hair. Come on, let's bring back the 1940s. Everything except the blatant and obvious racism and Nazi warfare. Ridley then described.
I'm okay with shooting Nazis, just they need to be actual Nazis.
Yeah, the Nazis in Portland. Sorry, that was too easy.
Ridley then described how, weirdly, at the beginning of the year, nothing was coming through, and noted there were actually loads of things that I auditioned for at the beginning of the year and didn't get any of them. However, after Ridley had that moment of, oh my God, and they just thought everything's at the right time, everything in its right time, the actress claims, things started picking up. I mean, come on, look how hot she looks there. It's not just my 1940s fixation. Since the conclusion of Star Wars, Ridley has only had appeared in a few projects. One as a guest judge on RuPaul's Drag Race. Oh God, really?
Sachet Shantae.
Another co-starred in the upcoming science fiction film Chaos Walking. Finally, she provided narration for the IMAX documentary Asteroid Hunters. In regards to her upcoming projects, aside from starring opposite X-Men and split star James McAvoy, oh, I love McAvoy, in 12 minutes, Ridley will also lend her voice to the Oculus exclusive animated interactive film Baby Yaga. Baba Yaga? What the fuck did I just read?
Baba
What the
Yaga.
hell's that?
The Russian witch.
Yeah. It's
Oh, the old
Uh-huh.
granny with the Baba Ganoush
House-
handkerchief over her head?
Baba Ganoush. You mean the
Babushka. That was the word I was looking for. What the hell's Baba Ganoush? What is that?
and the her house has chicken legs.
Okay.
That's Baba Yaga.
Real quick before you
Sure.
get to the thank you, Pete, for the generous donation. That's really awesome of you, man. Appreciate it.
Wait, Pete? Like Australian Pete? Cool. Pete's
Yeah.
awesome. Despite her lack of concrete work, offers are still being made to Ridley. As she stated, there have been awesome things, and obviously no one knows when they're going to go. At the conclusion of the interview, Ridley teased, there's only one thing I'm going to do that's super fucking dark. I was like, we do need something this dark, but it's also really interesting and about memory and everything a bit fragmented. I definitely feel like I want to watch and I guess be part of something with some joy. That's what people need.
Yeah, see, she's talking about me right here. It's fucking dark. It's got some everything's a bit fragmented. It's about memory because she wants to remember it, and it's something that brings her joy. And awesome things. Obviously knows when they're going to go. Yeah, it's just talking about my offer of banging.
I want to watch a recording of that interview. I want to hear Daisy Ridley say super fucking dark. Be so sexy with her English accent. Yeah,
Fucking
man.
sexy.
Yeah. Okay, anyway.
Parody Bear said Baba Ganoush is like a meal or something. Yes, it's eggplant and tahini.
That sounds disgusting.
Tahini, the liquor?
Well, that's Russian. Come on now.
Is it Russian?
If it's got booze in it, I assume the Russians made it. They don't fuck around.
Speaking of Russians, let's do this one now. That's a rough segue. Let's do it.
It's Lebanese. It's Lebanese.
Made by the
Well,
Russians.
wait a minute. Tahini isn't fucking booze. That's tahini's the cucumber yogurt sauce. What's it called?
Yeah.
Well, no,
Tahini.
the one like the one that the Greeks have. What's the one the Greeks have? What's it called?
Oh, it's
Yeah.
tzatziki.
See? I'm not medicated beyond all use of my memory. It's just the wires are getting crossed, you know? Baba Gaga
Yeah,
wearing Baba Ganoush. It makes perfect sense. It's
She dresses in weird foods. That's
I meant a
disgusting.
babushka thing.
I know what you meant, but I was picturing some old witch like smothering herself in this gross ass food that the Russians made in the Middle East.
Do you remember Babushka Lady from the Dealey Plaza Kennedy assassination mythology?
No, because I'm not sad.
Do you mean sad because I'm pathetic for knowing it in detail, or sad because you think the Clintons were involved?
Yes, the second one.
I am not sad. I have so much to live for.
No, there's all these characters that are identified at Dealey Plaza, and if they don't know their names or they're not sure if that's actually someone there or a shadow, they give them these names like Umbrella Man, Baba Ganoush Lady or Babushka Lady, Black Dog Man, Badge Man, right?
Well, it's very obvious that Babushka Lady was in fact Baba Yaga, and she was the second shooter. So it's best not to get involved, because if the Clintons hired her, I want nothing to do with it.
Both Angela and Midnight in Exile brought up that tahini is sesame paste.
Is it? I thought it was.
Okay,
I
that's a
thought it
lot
was
less
the
yogurt.
Lebanese version of tzatziki.
No. In fact, actually, Midnight in Exile addended that and said, tzatziki is yogurt sauce. How are you so snooty, but you don't know this shit?
Snooty.
You
I'm a
snooty.
time-traveling bartending otter alcoholic who reads comics. All the snoot. Kotaku claims Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War trailer promotes a far-right conspiracy theory.
Oh, which one?
Active measures.
Yuri's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Sinatra may claim that I showed up late, but I was in time to watch this entire video clip, so wasn't that late, goddammit. In an editorial, Kotaku has accused Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War to promoting a far-right conspiracy theory. This is due to the inclusion of an interview with former KGB agent Yuri Russian in the game's launch trailer. On August 27th, an editorial called Call of Duty trailer recklessly promotes far-right conspiracy theory. Kotaku not falling into their stereotype at all with this. Kotaku writer Ian Pinko took issue with the trailer's inclusion of the Yuri Russian and his views. According to him, it was due to the interview having allegedly, quote, become a dangerous rallying cry for far-right conspiracy theories and the people who peddle them, said the Pinko commie supporter Marxist scum. Walker claims that Russian's interview suggests that extending equality to the United States non-white, non-male population made it right for Soviet invasion. That's not what he said, but that's fine. Is no one going to mention how much this character is obviously meant to be Robert Redford?
Yeah. Is this like the former KGB dude that said that they were infiltrating certain higher ups in like education and media to like twist the narrative to make it to make socialism and communism more palatable to the American public?
Yeah, they don't actually have to.
That guy?
Yeah, Yuri something I can't pronounce in Russian.
Yeah, that's why I keep calling it Yuri Rush.
Yeah, he was talking about the ways that you can influence culture to make it more palatable. And they're really interesting talks, but they keep getting scrubbed off YouTube for some mysterious reason.
The point he was actually making, despite what this Pinko commie over at Kotaku has to say, the point Yuri Russian was making is that there are 4 stages to active measures, and in the destabilization phase, their people within the country are doing a lot of the effort for you. In America, and he goes on to give examples of this, he goes, the far left liberals who are promoting things like civil rights and equality and ending wars and so on, they create destabilizing things by making it look as if the government is an oppressive force, destabilizing the entire country and its faith in its institutions. You see what I'm saying? Like that's the point he was making. Not that there shouldn't be equality, just that those are the useful idiots. You know what I mean? They don't realize that they're promoting a secondary purpose by what they're doing, which is destabilization.
Portland. Bezmenov.
You know, it's at no point did he say they're non-white, non-blah, blah, blah, says the useful idiot at Kotaku. I thank you very much, Pete, for the generous $20 donation. some dollary dues for everyone's favorite otter, donned in a smoking jacket. Hashtag bring back hooded cloaks. Yes! Yes, we should bring back hooded cloaks. Who doesn't want to look like Luke Skywalker in Jedi? He looks slick as fuck. I mean, seriously, it's good in the rain. You can toss it over your back when it gets a little hot or windy. You can pull it around you for warmth in the cold. It's very useful.
I got my mom a red velvet hooded cloak
So you turned your mom into Little Red Riding
for
Hood?
Christmas. No, this is like a floor length one, not the like that stupid little mantle and hood one. Is commonly associated with Red Riding Hood. No, it's it was also deep red too. It's like a
Maroon.
million crimson maroon.
Vermilion. Ebony Williams asks, so you're not a fop? Well, that depends. I thought fop was polite company language for a gay man. So the answer, I guess, would be no.
No, a fop is a gentle man.
Oh,
Literally.
well, I'm a gentleman, to be sure. But just an inebriated one. It's different.
But it also carries the connotation of a man who's mostly effeminate.
Gotcha.
Doesn't necessarily mean gay. Gay men can be fops, but not all fops are gay.
Pete says, where's the Alba? Did I miss it? Hey! Well, no, Pete. No, you didn't miss it. Those are the Noir Bar pop-ups, and I got the comic book curation ones on right now because this is comic book curation. But Jessica Alba should really, when they're Sin City gifts that I've picked, they should be able to go across both since he's a comic book movie.
Yeah, it's a comic book movie.
I should rethink this.
I would say, bringing up Frank Miller, I've learned from Red Letter Media that Frank Miller wrote the lyrics to Ninja Rap.
Which was in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, Secret of the Ooze.
As performed by Vanilla Ice. But that's not true. This is just Quiz working against the fact that he knows that Frank Miller is the greatest comic book writer and artist of all time. Well, not of all time, honestly.
Furthest from the
But
truth.
yeah,
but okay.
Jack Kirby, of course, is better. And
is he
of the 80s post era?
I'm gonna go with Frank Miller over Kirby.
In terms of influence, like if you include influence, you can't.
No, in terms of talent.
What's that? I'm sorry.
In terms of talent.
In terms of talent squandered, maybe.
Wow, you leave Kirby out of this. He's a brilliant man who worked hard.
No,
he tried really hard. He was just a
no. I heard Jack say Miller over Kirby.
Yeah, I like Miller over Kirby.
Really?
Yeah, no. In terms of a talent squandered, then yes, Frank Miller way over Kirby.
I don't. You know, All-Star, we're going to do a video review of All-Star Batman and Robin, and we're going to get this out of your system.
Sure.
Yeah,
yes.
This is fucking fun. All I have to do is say something, and you two just go at it.
Shady grin dabbing and shit. Like, what the hell?
There is never going to be a worse Batman comic book. Even with Tom King, there's never going to be a worse Batman comic than All-Star Batman and Robin. Fight me.
Wow, that's a bold statement.
Yes, it is, and I stand by it 100%.
Now you're wrong.
It is that bad.
It's misunderstood.
No, it's terrible. Is what
really quick. Of all potatoes is the can't be posting our links. That's because he's cleaning his PC and HDMI difficulties, and no problem. We appreciate you posting our links all the time. It's not a problem if you can't do it right now. If anybody's interested, they can find all of our Streamlab and Twitter links below in the description. But thanks anyway, man. It's not a problem. It's totally cool.
Yeah, we appreciate
it should be noted that Russian Man does not speak his personal views in the interview, but rather details actual Soviet destabilization strategies that he'd been trained in during his time with the KGB. But the Pinkos at Kotaku don't care. There is also no discussion of identity politics, unlike Kotaku, much less a call to arm against America's non-white, non-male population during the interview, none of which is of interest to the Pinkos at Kotaku because it's a means to an end. The Pinko then criticizes the interview's inclusion due to being conducted by G. Edward Griffin. Griffin is an author and activist who believes in and promotes various conspiracy theories, such as those surrounding HIV/AIDS denialism and the 9/11 truth movement and chemtrails. Of course, in the interview, you barely ever hear him speak and you never see his face, so what the fuck difference does it make?
They didn't like that he's telling the
If a conspiracy theorist were to interview a personal hero of yours, Kotaku writer, say Joseph Stalin, wouldn't you be interested in hearing what he had to say, regardless of the fact of who the person's sitting behind the camera that you never see nor hear? What would you care? Man. However, Griffin's fringe and questionable beliefs do not invalidate the Russians' information. Exactly. As the Pinko continues, it becomes clear that his issue is not so much with anything actually present in the trailer, but with his belief that the interview's inclusion would function, quote, as a sort of dog whistle to legions of reactionaries, not using Pinko language there at all, who consider attempts at establishing social equity, notice he didn't say equality, because he knows the catch language. You don't want to say equality because we don't want things to actually be equal, so we're going to make up equity. To be proof of a far-right conspiracy theory known as cultural Marxism. Oh yes, cultural Marxism is a conspiracy theory, right? Using all of the catchphrases involved, not even bothering to dog whistle, just outright saying, you guys know what I mean, fellow comrades. Cultural Marxism is the theoretical strategy of causing instability in institutional culture through battles over social, political, and economic issues in an attempt to install oppressive far-left leaders and societies. Far and radical left activists have regularly dismissed the concept as an alt-right sentiment. Yeah, but they also think the OK sign is for white power. I mean, what the fuck?
Well, they're not real.
The article then deviates greatly from its discussion of the Call of Duty trailer as Walker, the Pinko, proceeds to author an extensive guilt by association defense against the existence of cultural Marxism by drawing conclusions between it and various buzzword boogeymen such as Nazi Germany and Gamergate. Yeah, he brings up Sargon of Akkad of all things. I mean, really? Really?
Gamergate like 4 years ago.
He resurrects Gamergate for this
he
again,
does.
huh?
Oh yeah, he mentioned there's Carl Sargon of Akkad. Walker also points to the positive opinion of the interview's inclusion held by controversial YouTuber and former UKIP candidate Carl Sargon of Akkad Benjamin as evidence of conspiracy theory promotion. Man, these guys hold a grudge forever. Like it, because you have nothing else to talk about over at Kotaku and general games journalism. And this is proof that Gamergate failed, but had just cause, because here you are picking culture war targets to go after when you're supposed to be talking about fucking games.
I was gonna say the one thing that that hasn't been brought up in this whole thing, because we've been discussing politics. What the fuck does this have to do with the video game?
It's about enemies and hatred. I think him and Beans is right. Gamergate is the SJW Vietnam. They just can never.
That's good. That's good. Yeah,
like
I might use that later. That's good. This, despite him being completely unrelated to Call of Duty, the Cold War, or the trailer, outside voicing his own opinions on the game or his YouTube channel. But why not guilt by association? Ultimately, Walker, the Pinko, seems to believe that players are too immature and irresponsible to distinguish between fiction and reality. He also asserts, quote, it's irresponsible for the developers to disseminate his ideas without context. Jeez,
how old do they think people that play Call of Duty are?
Do you know
5?
what that is the precise same sentiment offered there is? Remember the Canadian grad student who got grilled before the fucking social justice tribunal at her university? Lindsay Shepherd. Yeah, Shepherd. That was the exact phrase. You showed Jordan Peterson talking and you didn't put it in a critical context. You just showed it to students, and that created an unsafe environment. It's precisely the same argument. The people that you're showing this to need it contextualized and shown how it's evil, because without our help, they couldn't possibly understand the repercussions and consequences of all of this.
They might get the wrong ideas.
Yeah, I bet you that this guy doesn't have problems when you have what's the game with the Hick group of religious cultists, Christian cultists?
Is that Far Cry 5?
And people are like, this is a little obvious, isn't it? In their complaints. I bet you this guy had no problem with that when it's clearly fictional. It's like, oh, this is just showing the reality, and gamers can understand the difference. And
Just gonna kill the fundamental Christians. No one's gonna miss them. Ha ha ha.
Yeah, you know that's exactly how this idiot thinks. Because a lot of these people are that one-dimensional. They cannot see outside of their worldview, and by violating that, you have offended them personally. This was a direct attack against them. How dare you, you fucking monster!
In terms of a setting for a game, the Cold War, especially late 70s, early 80s, with all of the Bush wars and the various fun and games, as they call it, intelligence work, snatch and grab operations, secret operatives, activating assets. That's a great setting for a game. What the fuck are you talking about? What's your problem?
They're both Pinkos, and they're offended that you would make them look bad by showing what fucking Soviet Union.
I should have finished reading this quote. This is mind-blowing. Call of Duty players, he takes a swing at Call of Duty players by describing how the game, quote, is already popular among impressionable adolescents and disaffected young men with far-right tendencies.
Wow.
I was calling everyone who plays Call of Duty a Nazi.
Citation
Wow.
needed, man.
Yeah, I'd like to see some evidence for that. I know a lot of normal, well-adjusted people that play Call of Duty.
Activision has given its fans a direct path to his philosophy, while also leaving out crucial contextual details that explain its origins and the dangerous effects it has on the modern world. Like crucial contextual details? You mean your pinko framing to explain how this is all just far-right stuff to stop the natural progress towards a brighter tomorrow that I support? Get out to the potato fields and work while I sit in the Politburo making all the big brain plans.
I say no. You need to seize the potato fields from the people that don't join the party, and then put them in a mass grave. I mean, that's what Lenin did.
I'm surprised he was willing to. The Kotaku writer was willing to go that far. It's a little obvious, but
no, the mask is off, dude. They got to pull out all the stops to sway the masses.
I do like this article for just. It keeps going, man. J.K. Rowling returns Robert F. Kennedy Humanitarian Award after the organization president criticizes her stance on transgender issues.
I'd have kept the fucking award. Be like, nope, it's mine.
Well,
fuck off.
I haven't read the article. I'm curious if she returned it. Like, oh yeah? Well, here, take your fucking award back. I'm a billionaire who lives in a literal castle, bitch. Like,
no, I'd keep that award. It'd be in the background of every photo when I said something nasty.
Harry Potter scribe J.K. Rowling has returned an award she received just last year from the Robert F. Kennedy Humanitarian Rights Organization after his president criticized Rowling's opinion on transgender issues. Last year, the organization awarded Rowling the Ripple of Hope. A humanitarian honor that recognizes, quote, leaders of international business, entertainment, and activist communities who have demonstrated a commitment to social change and reflect Robert Kennedy's passion for equality, justice, basic human rights, and his belief that each of us can make a difference. After Rowling published an essay earlier this year that explained her belief that contemporary trans activism was, quote, doing demonstrable harm in seeking to erode woman as a political and biological class and offering cover to predators like few before it? Spicy. Organization president Kerry Kennedy accused Rowling of degrading trans people's degrading trans people's lived experiences. Wow. Catchphrasey. Did she also deny their truth?
Yeah.
Yeah, most
in an official statement posted to the Robert F. Kennedy Human Rights Organization official website, Kennedy claimed that Rowling had, quote, chosen to use her remarkable gifts to create a narrative that diminishes the identity of trans and non-binary people, undermining the validity and integrity of the entire transgender community. Bullshit, she did. I mean...
All she said is that women are women.
Oh, you're a monster!
Oh my god. Hey man, give me her castle. I'm perfectly fine with that. Let's appropriate some castles.
I'm not even trying to take J.K. Rowling's side here. It's just Rowling, you loved having all of the people on Twitter, the Twitter slacktivists, rallying around you when you retroactively made a bunch of characters gay and constantly spoke about all the evil racism in the United States, and it made all these progressive statements. They all cheered you on. And then you make this statement and they all turn on you. This is the inevitable end of identitarianism. You all have to turn on each other eventually because the whole point is to moralize each other.
Well, no one is 100% pure, and that's the point.
Like I said, I'm not even backing her up or anything she said, or I don't even really have any interest one way or the other. It's just, this is the inevitable end of pointing moralizing fingers and denouncing people constantly. You've ruined their lived experience and the value of their lives by blah, blah, blah. I know a couple of trans women, and I'm here to tell you their lives are not degraded. Their own words by anything that J.K. Rowling says or does. What difference does it make to their lived experience? I'm
a little more concerned about why they're putting this much validity in what some random celebrity stranger says about them as a class. Like, who cares? One person.
You know what? That was really a fucking good point. We should really wrap this up with our argument about why are you listening to celebrities as if they have some kind of influence on your life? Why are you allowing them to have influence on your life? We're coming for you, Mark Ruffalo. Your article's next, motherfucker. I'm
going to say, so celebrities are dumb. They're lucky people who happen to have a fairly attractive face and can remember lines of dialogue for a day.
Write an interesting story. If you're a trans person and you feel degraded by J.K. Rowling, man, I feel bad for you. Don't let people influence you that way because they have some celebrity. What the fuck?
Read a different book. There's plenty.
What? Oh my God! How dare you?
In an official statement, she's chosen. Kennedy further asserted that J.K. Rowling's attacks upon the transgender community are inconsistent with the fundamental beliefs and values of the RFK human rights and represent a repudiation of my father's vision. Yeah, what did he say about trans people? Are you just extending it beyond all reach? In a response to Kennedy, Rowling published her own statement. Oh shit! That criticized how the organization's president recently felt it necessary to publish a statement denouncing my views on the Kennedy Association's website. As she claimed, the statement, quote, incorrectly implied that I was transphobic and that I am responsible for harm to trans people. That she would absolutely refute the accusation that I hate trans people or wish them ill will, or that standing up for the rights of women is wrong, discriminatory, or incites harm or violence to the trans community. Like the vast majority of people who've written to me, I feel nothing but sympathy towards those with gender dysphoria and agree with the clinicians and therapists who've gotten in touch who want to see a proper explorations of the factors that lead to it. Ooh, it leads to it. Not the way you're born? Is that what you're saying, Rowling? I just want her in more hot water because I want everyone to see this is how it ends. Don't go down this path of identitarianism. It's an ugly place, guys.
Yeah.
Rowling then chose to stand in solidarity with those who have contacted me but are struggling to make their voices heard, and announced that she had no option but to return the ripple of hope bestowed upon me last year. I am deeply saddened that the Kennedy Association has failed to compel its audience, has felt compelled to adopt the goddamn things are getting a little wobbly. Who turned the room spinner on? Okay, hold on. Felt compelled to adopt this stance, but no award or honor, no matter my admiration for the person for whom it was named, means so much to me that I would forfeit the right to follow the dictates of my own conscience. Jesus Christ.
You'll get there eventually, Paul.
How much this article is? Okay, it's not that much longer. As of this writing, the organization's blah blah blah. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so you got this is my guess. This is totally opinion based right now. Okay, this woman, Carrie Kennedy, got a whole bunch of hate mail from a bunch of slacktivists all over the place, saying, "How could you give an award to that transphobe? Oh my God, what's wrong with you?" And then she felt pressured to do something about it and personal embarrassment because the virtual pitchforks and torches came out from the angry 4% of Twitter. And she was like, well, better do something. So she wrote up that virtue signaling statement, including things like denying humanity and lived experiences because her PR agent told her to write those things. And J.K. Rowling said, fuck you, take your ripple of weirdness back.
Sounds right.
Sounds about right.
Uh,
I still want J.K. Rowling's castle.
do you?
I think you.
Let's
Yeah,
appropriate
exactly. What were you getting
castles
at
for
there,
quiz.
Quiz?
Let's appropriate castles for quiz.
Okay, seriously, smash or pass, J.K.
Castles
Rowling. Let's
for
do it. And smash or
What?
pass, J.K. Rowling.
Yeah, I'd smash J.K. Rowling.
Yeah, it'd probably smash.
She's a attractive older lady. Yeah.
Cougar. Yeah, she's a cougar and she has a castle.
And this is the most
I'm gonna.
forced smile. I like blink twice if they've got a gun to your back. You know what?
I have to pose because they're gonna fire me.
This is the
otherwise.
actress or female model smile. Smile without squeezing your eyes because it creates crow's feet. It gives you wrinkles. So they only smile with the bottom half of their face. They literally practice doing that. Yeah, and
It's
that's
the
what's
hide-
going on there. Look, the whole bottom of her face is doing a smile. The top half of her face is sitting still. She's clearly practiced the model smile.
That's the same face that you would give Weinstein when he drops his pants too. Like, okay, I gotta go.
Your teeth look like
That's
dentures
the,
too, by the way.
That's the hide the pain Harold smile, by the way.
Chris Pine is hoping to reprise Kirk and work on Star Trek 4. I am too, and the never-ending finances and stuff behind this movie are a nightmare and too hard to follow. I just wanted to say, yes, I loved Chris Pine as Kirk. Zachary Quinto as Spock sucked. People have that backwards. They think Quinto did good and Pine did badly. Go watch those movies again. You're wrong. And yeah, I hope he comes back with the endless amount of financial difficulties behind this film. There. Or did you gentlemen have any thoughts here?
I hope they make a fourth one. I did like the first two. Well, the second one was pretty weak, but as a popcorn flick for normies, you can get normal people to watch.
You didn't
that
like the third one?
I didn't see the third one.
I thought it was the best of the three, man. Actually, you should check it out. Yeah.
I was gonna say I remember getting lambasted for this last time. Yeah, neither have I. I've not seen the third one either.
No, I wouldn't have lambasted you,
You're-
man. I just would have said you should have checked it out. Why would I tell you off for not seeing it? I mean, I tell you off all the time for offering opinions on movies you haven't seen. Hell yeah, and I'll do it again. But
I never do.
you have all sorts of opinions on
offer-
Star Wars. Let's be honest.
I have opinions based on trailers. And because of that, you want to know my opinion based on trailers, Polly? It doesn't look like a movie I will see. That is my opinion. That is the only
Star
opinion
Wars
I've
or Star
ever
Trek?
offered.
What are you talking about?
Whenever I comment on a movie I have not seen.
Okay. Because I saw the trailer. So Quiz literally judges books by their cover. Oh, let's go on.
A movie? Yes, that's the whole point of what a trailer is supposed to do.
Okay, let's do this now. Fucking variety, man. Star Trek Discovery makes franchise history with its first trans non-binary characters. Leave it alone, guys. We'll get there in a second. Let's just Can I offer a point here? This is personal taste, Buzz perspective, whatever little that's worth in my medicated state. I hate how the cute girl with the pixie haircut has now become a non-binary or lesbian look. Winona Ryder rocked that look during peak hotness, and it was hot as hell. Like this is look, this girl's this is an extremely cute cut, looks great. The pixie thing, this is a cute woman. Why does that suddenly mean non-binary? Man, fuck 2020. What the hell?
Not everyone could pull that haircut off too. So when you see a girl that could do that, you're like, yeah, all right, that's pretty hot. But then they had to go and ruin it with current day.
Yeah.
Sad.
Well, I have a friend that has a pixie cut like that. And you would not believe every single time, man. I got her a job at Netflix when we were both going to school. And she would constantly get from every new employee, hey, are you gay?
Oh, really?
Every time.
Well, you know what? I knew a girl that had, like, she rocked the Winona Ryder look, with the pixie cut and everything, and she was a small, slight girl, and she got hit on by butch lesbians. Her words, all the time.
Well, yeah, she should have told him she's non-binary.
Thank you, Gamer Valine, for the $5 donation. I like Chris Pine as Kirk. He is very nice to look at. The third one is good. I think Cumberbatch has the darkness to be a good villain, just not that villain. Yeah, I would agree with everything across the board, except for your. I mean, he's nice to look at, and I think you mean something different than I mean.
Who's Benedict Cumberbatch going to be playing?
Yeah, he plays Khan Noonien Singh.
Oh, that's right. Okay, I forgot that was Cumberbatch.
Yeah, and I totally agree with Gamer Valine on that. Like, I think, yeah, can he portray darkness on screen? Fuck yeah, I absolutely think so. Should he be playing Khan? No. What the hell? It's like they just took popular actor guy and put him in that role. And I'm not even making a whitewashing argument. Like Ricardo Montalban wasn't Indian, South Asian, which is what he was supposed to, which is what Khan Noonien Singh was. But Ricardo Montalban owns that role, man. You know?
Yeah, him and his plate.
Come on, man. For some moobs, that man rocks it. Fine, Corinthian leather. I had to say it.
All I got to say about Khan and Ricardo Montalban is, are you really going to bank all of you're going to bet the farm on a guy whose big villain speech says revenge is a dish best served with pinto beans and rice?
All right. Hammond Bean says Enterprise TNG and DS9 beat Discovery to it. Yep, we're gonna get there. You're not wrong. Assassin of the Gray says, remember, history only began when Donald Trump descended the escalator. Right?
That's a good point.
Yeah, that's fucking solid. And Rough City Podcast says lesbians are the best. I disagree. Bisexual hot women are the best.
Yes, because then they'll sleep with you. I also like Hammond Beans there, Benadryl cucumber.
And then Ebony Williams, absolutely. Same with colored hair, still want blue streaks. Yeah, I mean, girls with blue hair, red hair, whatever, lots of girls can pull it off and make it look great. And now it's a sign of like mental instability, or that they're going to yell at you, want to talk to your manager, or moralize you or something. And that sucks. Because brightly colored hair of all sorts, lots of women can make it look fantastic, and it sucks they can't do it without being categorized anymore, man.
Ruined it for everyone.
And women who smoralize at you like to smother you in both marshmallow and chocolate.
What? You talking about fat? What are you talking about?
You said you were supposed to, you were trying to say moralize, but you said smoralize.
Okay.
Look, it doesn't help that now when I see a comic book cover that somebody's got like purple or blue hair or whatever, I typically am like, I don't buy that.
Yeah, it's like I know what is going to be inside this comic.
Yeah, it's like
and Polly's calling me judging a book by its cover. You know what, motherfucker? Yeah, I am.
Oh,
yes, I do.
It's also the side of the head shave thing. Like maybe that character's cool, but I have no interest in that.
Okay, so let's see what they have to say here. And Variety, the along with Hollywood Reporter, are the ultra shills of the Holly weird world, man. We just print things that one promotes ideology, or two they've paid us to promote. Like, it's just, anyway. In a first, it's a first, ladies and gentlemen, and non-binaries. For the Star Trek franchise, characters who are gender non-binary and transgender will appear in the third season of Star Trek Discovery on CBS All Access, announced on Wednesday. Ian Alexander, the OA, will play Gray, a trans man who has spent his life as a Trill planning to be the host for a symbiotic alien species that lives in different hosts over its lifetime. Wait. I haven't read this article yet. Are you trying to claim that Trills who do, the symbiote changes different hosts, like Dax was a man and a woman and a man and a woman, and are you trying to say that makes her that makes his character transgender?
Oh, is that what this
is? That is the most ridiculous recasting, retcon, relabeling. That's all that is relabeling. Those characters already, that's not transgenderism. Oh my God. Oh my God. That is not someone who is born a certain gender and feels that they should be another one and transitions over. That's somebody living a complete life. I'm not going to nerd lore this. Let's just go on.
You're totally gonna nerd lore this.
Well,
Oh yeah,
it's
that's the whole
true.
point.
It's true.
That's the whole
Like,
point.
look at this. You don't
Go for it. Go
you
for
don't
broke.
need you don't need more proof. Prince Harry, who's no longer a prince, and Meghan Markle, the failed actress that he picked up at some bar, sign a Netflix deal. Who cares, Variety? Anyway,
That's still back.
newcomer Blue Del Barrio will play Adira, a non-binary character who bonds with Lieutenant Commander Paul Stamets and Dr. Hugh Cuber for the first same-sex couple in Trek TV series history. Yeah, notice how they had to get very specific there because it's not anyway. Because I could point out examples where it anyway. Trek has always made a mission of giving visibility to underrepresented communities because it believes in showcasing people that a future without division on the basis of race, gender identity, sexual orientation is entirely within our reach. Co-showrunner, executive producer Michelle Paradise said in a statement. The production worked closely with GLAAD, especially director of transgender media and representation Nick Adams, in crafting Gray and Adira for season 3. Fuck you all the way. This is not representation. This is social engineering. By the fact you brought on GLAAD, you demonstrate it. We want things to look this way. This is a butt in seats ability to inject a certain particular type, a view of transgender and non-binary people to people. It's not to represent them. It's to represent them in a very particular way, hoping to influence. This is social. This is social influence and nothing more.
No, there's a term for this. It's shameless pandering.
That too. The production worked close. Okay, we take pride in working closely with Blue DeBarrio, Ian Alexander, and Nick Adams at GLAAD to create extraordinary characters of blah, bring forth their stories in life and empathy and understanding, empowerment and joy. When Alexander first appeared as a trans character on the Netflix sci-fi series The OA, she was the first out trans Asian American actor on TV. He mostly recently played trans character Lev on the acclaimed video game The Last of Us Part 2. DeBarrio was cast on Discovery. Well, in the final year at the London Academy of Music and Dramatic Arts, they've been acting in theater and short film productions since they were Severin. Discovery will be their TV debut. So this is the person who identifies as non-binary. I'm lost the plot, man. It's too hard to follow. In an interview with Adams posted on GLAAD's website, DeBarrio says Adria is an introvert suffering from memory loss who doesn't tell people that they're non-binary right away, which ended up mirroring their own experience coming out as a non-binary. Okay, there you go. When I got the call that I'd be cast as Adira, I hadn't yet told the majority of my friends and family that I was non-binary. Do
you think that there will be a scene in the episode where they say, you've misgendered me, my pronouns are they, them?
Oh, you know it'll happen.
Although the original Star Trek TV series, which ran from 66 to 69, was groundbreaking at the time for its depiction of Black and Asian characters is that it, really? That's the only thing? Because it wasn't any of the ways that they did morality plays on Star Trek, was it? It was only groundbreaking for the fact that they had an Asian guy on screen and a black lady on screen. No, that wasn't it at all. It was the moral dramas that they played out that made it groundbreaking. That's what fucking mattered. Now, in retrospect, because we live in overly simplistic, moralistic times, the only thing they can talk about is first interracial kiss, the Asian guy and the black lady. Which is bullshit. The important stuff that they did was the morality plays and how they handled things like racism, etc., etc., etc. That's what mattered. Fuck.
No, a lot of those are right-wing talking points, and some of them just aren't even real.
I've heard.
Okay.
Something.
So they do mention the Outcast, which we're going to have fun with. Although, the franchise largely avoided LGBTQ characters of any significance for years, the most explicit depiction of any LGBTQ characters in Trek was a 1992 episode of Next Generation titled The Outcast, in which the crew of Enterprise encounter Janai, an alien race that has no gender and views any expression of gender or sexuality to be taboo. Commander Riker ends up falling in love with Janai, who identifies as female, until she is forced by her society to undergo a form of therapy that eradicates her gender identity. Frakes has said the episode was not gutsy enough. I guess. The Trill species has also been allowed Star Trek to dip into queer issues, if tentatively. Wait a minute, isn't that what you're doing again by calling this person transgender?
No, this is shamelessly pandering.
Yeah, because they're gonna bring up the fact that she's
Yeah, so they bring up Dr. Crusher and the first introduction of the Trill from TNG, and then they bring up Lieutenant Jadzia Dax, who's a Trill for 6 of the 7 seasons of DS9.
Wait, so if they bring up the Trill, don't they just completely shoot down their headline? Because the Trill do have literally a non-binary species. Like,
See how they break it down? The intensity of the moral drama that plays out in terms of an actual relationship, heavy-duty interpersonal drama, where they're both Trills, they've changed bodies multiple times. So when they originally knew each other, if I remember correctly, Dax was a woman, and the person that they meet again was a man. But now they're in different bodies and they've changed a few times, and now they're both women. And so there's so much intensity of drama there, and it's a big taboo to restart relationships with someone you had a past relationship with, because that's not moving on. And the whole point of Trill Society is to live a complete life, and then the symbiote moves on and takes those experiences to the next lifetime. So reestablishing old relationships is very taboo. That's the essence of the show. It's them fighting against the cultural norms of their society. Do we even want to start this? Are we just following old past? It's like heavy duty drama if you're into that kind of thing. What do they break it down entirely to? Dax wants to restart the relationship and the 2 women kiss, but the women ends up with them moving on. They break it all. It's all about just are 2 women kissing? Yep, there you go. Cool. See? It's all about, we got an Asian guy, we got a black woman, and we got the interracial kiss on Star Trek, and that's all that matters. Fuck all the actual drama and humanity of the episode. Fuck the storytelling. We had 2 same-sex couple kissing, and it was like dipping the toe into transgenderism and that. Yeah, moving on. Shows what they care about.
I think we're overlooking the real question here, which is, if you're banging one of these, like Jadzia Dax types, is it a 3-way?
yes.
All right, that really resolved all my questions. Otherwise, yeah, Polly, you're dead on.
Well, didn't they bring up the Janai? Isn't that the one with the third species that's intrinsic in the mating in PNG? Doesn't that disprove the fact that this is like the headline isn't even true? Because there was the one episode you like to bring up, where there's 3 genders to the one
Right.
alien species.
And you're absolutely right. We'll get there in a second. How violative this is of anything approaching truth or correctness associated with lore, because they want to claim first. That's the whole point. So they're successful, even though they're lying their asses off. Doesn't fucking matter. It wasn't until Stamets and Culber were introduced on Discovery in 2017 that 2 male Trek characters were depicted as fully expressed romantic relationship and played out 2 queer characters. Again, the morality or the relationship or whatever, it doesn't matter. It's the representation. Do we see the thing that we want to see? Do the thing we demand you to do.
Yeah.
Say the line, Bart.
Yeah.
Fuck
Write the characters, bigot. It doesn't even show the characters, because it's all about on-screen representation. You don't even need to write the characters. Just show the characters. And then when you show them, then we'll get into complaining about it. And even when you have a gay character in the show that you wanted, as it's a gay actor playing a gay character in the show, constantly talking about how gay they are. Batwoman, Ruby Rose. Did they stop complaining? Did they cheer it on? No. They complained that Ruby Rose is always hired as the gay actor. Really? Because after there's been a bunch of non-binaries all over the place, they're going to be complaining that this poor actor is the one who's always hired to play non-binaries, because playing the other one played a whole bunch of trans characters over and over again. So you're the go-to trans actor, huh? That must be nice. Jeez. Okay. Anyway, look. Obviously they fucked up, because there's the non-binary planet that they visit. That's Janai. This was a great morality play, because there's nothing good in the way this episode ends. What do I mean by morality play? Just they put all of the complexities and no-win scenarios on the table that there's just conflict in life, and here's the complexities of the conflict. And while we may have solved everything in the never land of Starfleet, where everyone just gets along, the entire universe isn't like that. So in humanity, in Trek, encountering people who still have these problems, it's humanity dealing with its problems of the current day. That's good sci-fi. Not giving you answers, but exploring things through metaphor. And while it was, the non-binary thing was done first over here, the tri-binary thing was done best over on Enterprise. And that's the show you were talking about, Quiz. I don't want to spoil it for anyone who wants to watch it. That show could have hardly ended in a more depressing way. Everybody across the board fucked up, and it blew up in all of their faces. Nobody ended up in the right. It was great. There was no, you can't walk away from watching that show in terms of the multiplicity of binaries, of genders rather, and one cultural opinion of, well, there's two genders. Shouldn't you allow someone to express this thing and individual rights and so forth? Well, our culture says this is right. Shouldn't we be allowed to do this? Well, you're denying this thing to someone. It blows up in everybody's fucking face. Nobody was in the right. They just explored the complexities and how moralizing and trying to be a do-gooder is not really a good idea a lot of the time. That was the only takeaway, is that forcing your shit on other people can explode in your face. Great life lesson.
Yeah, one that I think more people need to learn.
Portland. Sorry, I got a little cold or something.
And we're going to do some things. It's like, well, you want to talk about second-class citizens. Well, in a lot of the Middle East, there are women who, women generally, do not have the equality that women in the Western world enjoy. That's a point a lot of people make. I think certain laws make that clear that is the case in a lot of places, right? So when I was having this discussion with somebody IRL, they said, wait a minute, this whole like forcing a cultural idea, would not saying women deserve equality be forcing Western culture upon Islamic culture? I said, I would be more comfortable saying, yes, that's the argument, if it wasn't something that was a cause du jour or a current cause célèbre. Because all of the people who are yelling and screaming about transphobia and trans rights, all I ask you to do is go to their blue checkmark Twitter page and search for trans POC or transphobia and see when they started using that term, because it wasn't before 3 or 4 years ago, even though they've been on Twitter for a decade. Don't tell me they're not interested in just repeating the lines that other people are saying in a current cause célèbre. That's what we mean when we say virtue signaling. I don't think you really care one way or another.
You're full of hate facts today.
Well, maybe.
Are you telling me that people who do things for attention are vapid, Polly?
I know.
Thought.
Yeah, it's horrifying to think.
Hey, Quiz. Look.
Oh.
This is what I show him, chat. Over on RT.com, of all fucking places, massive attention scam, 85,000 stolen, developer driven to suicide, and gaming media utterly bullied. Happy anniversary, Zoe Quinn.
Oh, hey, Zoe. What about that 5-year-old child that died in Lombard Park? Or sorry, not Lombard. Humboldt Park. Where were the cops during that? Oh yeah, they were patrolling movie theaters for the Joker.
You know what?
You should.
That went over real well, didn't it?
Being
Zoe?
a lifetime fan of comic books, like I admit, the most important thing in there is driving the guy to suicide. Obviously, the other things I'm not trying to say as important, but I think it should be listed in there as a lifetime fan of comic books. Also stealing jobs from actual comic book writers and pretending to be something she's not, and very likely never will be, a comic book writer, because it's disgusting that she can say that about herself, in my opinion. You hired her because she was a so-called victim of Gamergate. Both Marvel and DC did so. You know how many writers out there will try for their entire lifetime dreaming for a shot like that, and they just handed it to this scam artist?
You know, only bold statements and only statements that I would be willing to back up here. If Zoe Quinn got bullied into suicide, I'd be okay with it.
I
Just
You know
saying.
what? I'll say the same thing I always do. Nope. Nope. The best of all outcomes would be Zoe going, you know what? I realized that what I thought was pursuing was righteous. I ultimately realized was self-righteous. Like a social recompense is the best of all things. Not her dead. Her realizing that pursuing this thing is a really bad idea, thus making a lot of people think twice about them pursuing it. And people that idolized her thinking back over, yeah, even Zoe said this was a bad idea.
Do you ever think that she will have that level of self-awareness?
No.
Suicide is the best option.
Come on, man. Jesus.
I'm with Pete. Maybe some anal.
For who? Zoe? You think?
Yeah.
What?
I just think that a good spit roasting with her in the middle between Boogie and Philip DeFranco might do her some good.
No, that's a terrible mental image.
I know, you're welcome. But maybe then she'll be like, maybe I have to rethink my life choices.
That'll probably drive her to suicide.
Yeah, well, ham and beans is a good point. Zoe will only go against SJWs if it becomes profitable for her. Yeah, she might ride some red pill wave or whatever the fuck if, why not? I could see it.
No, I think she's committed. And the fact that her playing victim got her $85,000 from which she doesn't need to pay back.
Yeah,
no, fuck Zoe Quinn.
It's fine. To run a crowdfunding scam, so long as you got the right politics, apparently.
Yeah.
Everything about her is awful, and I can't wait for the day where I will no longer ever have to worry or think about her because she will be gone forever.
I mean, it kind of
shoved off the mortal coil.
First paragraph, short as it is, really sums up the whole thing. Exactly 1 year ago, a man killed himself because of feminist gaming activist Zoe Quinn. 2 years ago, 2,400 backers of her Kickstarter project got the last update on its status. This story has her double anniversary. Wow. I mean, we've already talked about this repeatedly. I just love that somebody isn't letting it go out there, even if it is happening on our team.
And see, that's the thing. You can't let it go. You cannot let this go. Because if you do, then she will fade into obscurity, and that is the nicest fate she can ever have. No, she needs to remember everything horrible that she has done. She needs to have it pounded into her brain every moment of every day until she either does the unthinkable, which is what Polly wants, or she kills herself.
I mean,
pounded by Boogie?
Say it again, Jack.
What was that, Jack?
Pounded by Boogie?
Oh, God, no.
Oh, what specific?
It's funny to see, RT every now and then gets it right. I mean, they correctly describe Zoe Quinn here, in my opinion, and they called Sinatra a troublemaker. I mean, every now and then they get it right.
Well, yeah. I mean, he is.
Well, yeah. Let's see here. Thank you, Gabriel Valine, for the donation. Yet there was a big mystery on why I was harder on the females than on the males in the military. Mediocrity only applying to men and the few women that don't want to sleep their way through life in the real world. Is real old, yeah. Can't read straight today. Thank you, Gamer Valine. Well, yeah, I could see that.
You know
they
what?
probably thought you were being hard on them just because.
I'll say this, man. Assassin of the Great, that's a compromise I'd be willing to live with. In prison for fraud, yes. Well, fraud and also manslaughter. Fraud again. What are all of the other crimes that she's done? I mean, she's defrauded the one place for $85,000. She's brought about a man's death because of her actions, which is manslaughter. What else has she defrauded? She's definitely defrauded and libeled plenty of people. All the people that she has claimed went and quote found or no hacked her nudes. When you're selling them on Suicide Girls, you're not allowed to say that they were acquired illegally, Zoe. You did that. You did that.
Oh, yeah. Kimberly's right. I didn't say mediocrity, it said meritocracy. Meritocracy only applying to men, and the few women that don't want to sleep their way through life is real old. Yep. It's true. But, I mean, meritocracy, I've heard the argument many times myself. Meritocracy in and of itself is a Western system of white patriarchal oppression because it only applies to white men because of white men's male and white privilege getting them ahead. So they're not really, any success they have isn't because of merit. It's actually because they're white and male and straight and cis.
Merit itself, something white guys came up.
Yeah. Okay. Let's end the stream before we go off to pitches with our favorite Pinko, Mark Ruffalo.
Still waiting on my PayPal there, Marky.
See, look, variety. Mark Ruffalo supports activists in hometown of Kenosha. It's about public safety for all Americans. Like, this is just what Variety does. It's what the fuck? This story is just fucking useless.
Hey, Mark, I live within driving distance of Kenosha. I mean, I can come to your house if that'll get you the $1 million transaction a little bit better. Or easier. I mean, we need to seize the means of production here, don't we, Mark, Mr. Millionaire?
I mean, and what's with your Hamburglar outfit?
Rubble.
Mark Ruffalo virtually joined Tuesday morning's Justice for Jacob community celebration in his hometown of Kenosha. He appeared via Instagram Live to support Jacob Blake's family and community leaders who organized a peaceful gathering at the site where Blake was shot by police, virtually. The event kicked off with a press conference and a community cleanup session. It also, yeah, I'll bet it. Yeah, clean up, right? But of course, this guy didn't have to pick up any trash or the remnants of burnt to the ground buildings because he was there virtually. Ruffalo made
he didn't have to worry about bullets flying.
Ruffalo made a concise speech over Instagram Live, then opened up the platform for organizers to share their experiences from Kenosha. Quote, I just wanted to reach out to my family and brothers and sisters in Kenosha and just talk a little bit about what's happening today and how my experience has been of how these demagogues play this and how we can keep them from playing into their game. The unfortunately Avengers actors spoke to his experience organizing at Standing Rush in the importance of peaceful civil disobedience, but it's anything but. In response to President Donald Trump's visit to Kenosha on Tuesday, Ruffalo said the president's there wanting to incite violence so that he can show his followers. Man, they're going to be violent regardless of whatever. You're out of your mind if Trump went there deliberately thinking people are going to be violent if I go there and that'll get me what I want. You want to talk about conspiracy theories? Motherfucker, really? So he can show his followers and the people that follow him on television and Fox News and all of that the movement we're doing is about violence, when in fact it's about peace and it's about equality and it's about public safety for all Americans.
And that's why so many things are on fire.
Oh.
They're peaceful fires.
Get this. Resist the bait from media and police. Quote, there will be agitators there, he added. None of them will be capital B black. And they will be the ones acting out. None of them will be black. Thanks, Whitey. You don't think there's a single person that has committed a single act of violence in all of Kenosha or any of the so-called peaceful protests? What? Are you out of your fucking mind saying something like this?
Like the black guy that set one of the dump trucks on fire, or the black dude that kicked that 17-year-old while he was down on the ground? You're right. None of that happened. Totally nothing to see here, Mark. Idiot.
Celebrating the Workforce community, he closed with, Lord love you, be strong, stay in your hearts, stay in your love. God bless everyone who's fighting for this most important cause. I don't know, man. Bringing up something seems like Christianity is awfully Western supremacist of you, buddy. I think you just need to calm down with your imperialism there, man.
Well, you know what? Soviets had Eastern Orthodox, so it's
Well,
But
I don't think you
something
want to
is
get into
appropriate.
this quiz. Well, religion was technically legal under Soviet Russia. It was only technically legal. You want to talk about the looting of church resources and the imprisonment of priests and so forth? Come on, man. It's a long, disgusting, horrible story.
well. Say I didn't say Catholicism, but I said Eastern Orthodox.
It wasn't Catholicism. What do you mean? They did it. They did it
I
to
know.
the Russian Orthodox, Eastern Orthodox Church, because that's who was there.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's a long, ugly history. The Soviet government and religion, yeah, that's there were plenty of priests if you were happened to be in a gulag up north. Anyway, let's move along to some pitches, gentlemen. Who would like to go first? You know what? I'm dizzy as fuck, and the Fedrin is more than successfully kicked in for me, so I think I am going to go first just to get it over with because... God, I'm dizzy. Okay.
Sure.
Display capture. There it is. Fight Club 3. I've already pitched Fight Club 2.
Yes.
And I wanted to make sure that I hadn't pitched 3, so I checked with Quiz, who keeps studious records of things we've pitched and haven't, because approaching 100 episodes, we're starting to lose track of what we haven't pitched and what we've just talked about. Anyway.
Both Polly and I have pitched something we've already pitched.
Yeah,
before.
it's inevitable. And so Quiz has put together a great list, and we have something to actually reference. Let's just make sure we didn't fuck up here. Because we like to pitch graphic novels as opposed to like individual issues. Not graphic novels exactly, but new issues of stuff, collected stories, story arcs, stuff like that, as opposed to Random Fantastic Four 153. Like, if you know what I mean. Like it's hard. We lose track because we end up repeating things unintentionally. If you're a fan of Fight Club, the movie or the book, or both, highly recommend you get the graphic novels. Fight Club 2 should definitely be read before Fight Club 3. But, holy shit, Chuck is still working, and he's still got that weird magic that he has when he writes, man. It is the ongoing story of the narrator that you saw in the movie and in the book and in Fight Club 2. And Tyler hasn't gone away. His commentary upon everything, Chuck's commentary upon everything, that you're not sure exactly what he's commenting on, other than to be a Tyler Durden agent of chaos like guy. It's fantastic, and to show the ultimate nihilism based in being a fatalist like Tyler Durden is, that there's an ultimate self-defeat in nihilism. Other than that, I don't really think the man has a point other than just being interesting and crazy. It's great. Ask Misinformation. That's the name she goes by, and all she spreads is fake news. Get it? In the spirit of fake news and bogus facts, we present a new feature, and she actually delivers fake news through this fake news thing that's at the beginning of every one of the issues of this story arc. I love it so much. You'd think that it was making fun of Donald Trump. No, it's not. It's difficult to actually discern what the hell he's making fun of. But here is older, balding, middle-aged narrator. Some people call him Jack. Not our friend Jack. Weirdo Jack. You still there, Jack? Okay.
Yeah, I'm here.
And there he is, and he's married to Marla Singer in this storyline, and I don't want to give away too much in case you haven't read part 2. But Tyler comes back after Jack, the narrator, stops taking his drugs that suppress Tyler, is a short version of the story, and hilarity ensues. So what happens when a guy in his mid-40s, even though he's taking the drugs, can't stop Tyler from returning? That's the essence of Fight Club 3. It's Fight Club not based in the late 90s. So it's the same idea, the same exploration of masculinity, but now it's middle-aged masculinity. What the hell does any of this mean, and what can you do when you can't win a fight because now you're not a young, strong man, you're an older, less virile, middle-aged man? Well, you can still express outrage through lots of weird other things, like still showing up at self-help groups all over the place because it's the only way he can feel normal and convince himself that he's normal. I highly recommend this series. The art is great, and it does a lot to bring along the surrealness of Jack's perspective. The constant flies everywhere on every page. I won't explain where that comes from or whatever, or who this woman who walks into his life is, or what she's doing, but she approaches him at a bar, and, well, there's the strange woman who walks into his life. There's Marla Singer at home with their son, pregnant with their next child. She is the one, by the way, that replaced his drugs with nothing because she wanted Tyler back because she was so tired of dating boring Jack. Highly recommend it. Great fun, great read, totally worth it. I forget how many individual issues it runs. 12. But you can buy it as a collected edition now, or get them as separate uploads from Comixology. Either way, highly recommended. Fight Club Part 3. Read Part 2 first. Either way, you're in for like a couple dozen issues of awesome Chuck. Check it out.
I have Fight Club 2 in hardback.
Oh yeah, that's right.
In fact, you wouldn't even know about the Fight Club graphic novels if you weren't.
Okay, well, that's true, but I don't know why you had to go full hipster about it.
Well,
yeah, that's true. I didn't even know that Fight Club 2 was even a thing that exists until Quiz told me. I was like, what? I got it right away. And it was awesome.
Yeah.
All right, who'd like to go next?
I can go. Okay, so Shady Grin earlier today was asking. I was wondering about it because I'd just gotten done working a 12-hour shift and I was really fucking tired. He said he suggested something with Wonder Woman because he saw a panel today that really pissed him off, and it was Wonder Woman talking about mansplaining. So I combed through my stuff and I found this, written by Benjamin Percy and art by Jamal Campbell. I am pitching. Green Arrow number 27. This is the story. It's where we're already into like one of the arcs. Check out that cover. That cover's so awesome. But several arcs in, Green Arrow is hunting this organization called the Ninth Circle. They're essentially like the underworld bankers, and they bankroll all sorts of terrorism, super villains, all sorts of evil baddies in the world trying to make money off of the misery, suffering, and war of people around the world. And Oliver Queen, in his investigation, goes to Washington D.C., where he has this badass encounter, the fountain in front of the Washington, or the Lincoln Memorial. What's the name of that fountain again? I can't remember the name of it.
What? Which fountain?
Reflecting.
Oh yeah,
the reflecting pool. That's it. Yeah.
Fountain.
So Oliver Queen.
No, there's no. It's just a long
no
flat pool
fountain.
that's like a foot and a half deep.
Oh, I thought there was actual fountains in it. Okay. Either way, so he's pursuing this this villain here, and causes him to fall right outside the reflecting pool. When who shows up but Wonder Woman? Because Oliver is ready to torture this man to figure out where the Ninth Circle is. And there's another plot thread that happened earlier where Oliver was accused of murder, and he's been doing everything in his power to try and clear his name. And Wonder Woman believes that he's a murderer, and they fight in the reflecting pool. But you got great lines from Wonder Woman, like, heroes don't torture, they don't kill either. And from what I've seen now and in the news, you're guilty of both. And she protects Oliver from this guy with the machine gun. And then Oliver fires an arrow, and she's faster than the arrow, catches it, but he's got this flashbang that is able to escape her. And this is another subplot, but goes to the part where she wraps him in the lasso of truth and gets him to confess that he didn't murder anyone. And there's great lines in here, and shows what Wonder Woman should be. This is why I especially love Americans. You're always reinventing yourselves, never chained to the past or intimidated by the future, a country of constant rebirth. And that is what I imagine Wonder Woman should be. And I think she was really well represented here. I thought Oliver was also really well represented as well. He's doing his vigilante thing while also trying to fight for the little man on Capitol Hill. I thought it was great. Green Arrow 27.
Cool. I do like the art.
Jack.
I went a slightly different route and went with a Jeff Johns and Jason Fabok book that you may have heard of. It's called The Three Jokers, book one.
I've never heard of this.
Neither have I.
4 years late. You should have heard of it by
Okay.
now. Yeah. So we learned a little while back that there were in fact 3 different Jokers.
Was this part of Endgame?
Might have been. I don't remember. He sat in Batman sat in Metron's chair and asked the identity of the Joker, and it told him there were 3 Jokers.
Okay.
Well, this one, they had a team up. It wasn't great. Something's going on. The Joker was sighted in 3 different locations, and there were some murders. It was bad. And they start to figure it out because the Bat family knows that there are 3 Jokers. Well, things get ugly. Here's Bruce's scars.
Mm.
And they have flashbacks to a lot of their misery. Like, you learn how he gets this hole in his back and where some of these came from. And you get to see, like, Batgirl's bullet hole scar. And they all have these
Lower
like,
back.
little flashbacks as they're building up to it. Jason Todd's is pretty fucking dark. And they go hunting for the Joker. And they're trying to figure out which one's the real Joker, but are they all 3 the real Joker? And when they get in a big fight here, there's a Jokerized shark. Just throwing that out there now.
Okay.
But wait a second. The sharks can't smile.
This one can. Remember the Joker fish from the issue I pitched a while back?
Yeah.
They make a guest appearance in here with the Joker. So, yeah, but there's a real interesting twist ending that I didn't think they were going there, but they did. This is a dark book, but the ending alone, you have to read it for the ending. Absolutely great issue. I had so much fun reading this. See, there's some Joker piranha. I don't want to spoil anything, but this is so far a really good story. It's an interesting take with different Joker personalities. And you get to hear Joker confronting Jason Todd about what Jason said while he was being beaten to death.
He was
It's
mostly just taunting the Joker, wasn't he?
no, the Joker is taunting them,
Oh, okay.
and you get to hear the Joker tell everyone what Jason said while he was being beaten to death. It was pretty dark. This was definitely a more adult book. It's part of the Black Label, which
I was
is
gonna
their
say, yeah, Black Label.
that more adult imprint. It's only $6. I didn't think this was going to be very good. I was kind of putting this off. James asked me about it a couple times in chats, and I was like, yeah, "All right, I'm going to read it because he's asking me about it." And it was really good. There's a lot going on in here, and it's definitely got a lot of Batman lore interwoven into it. But you don't need to know any of it. Just have to know that Batman is aware that there are multiple people using the moniker of Joker, and nobody's really sure if they're all 3 posing as the Joker or if 2 of them are imposters. But the twist ending is it's amazing. I didn't think they'd go there, and it's going to really change things and shake things up. Book 2, I'm really looking forward to. I cannot pitch this without ruining the ending, but yeah, I really recommend checking it out. It was a shockingly good Batman story that shouldn't have taken 4 years.
All right. I didn't expect that to end that way. Did
So is it already out in trade paperback, or is it just issue 1?
Each format book.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's 48 pages, I think, something like that. It's thicker than your normal book, but it has that same like Killing Joke size.
I was gonna say you should show the alternate cover.
Yeah, I didn't have that one. So you only get one cover when I've only owned some
Okay, yeah.
lazy.
The alternate cover is the Joker with blood all over his face, like that Batman one, holding up a crowbar, a bloody crowbar.
That's the regular cover. The Batman is the variant cover. I
Oh,
think.
okay, gotcha.
And there it is. You know what I want to go read now? I want to read that, Three Jokers. I want to go back and read Mudpack. Remember the Mudpack story arc in Detective?
Yeah. Story.
Did I pitch that? I can't even remember.
Mudpack?
I don't. He did.
Shit, I should have shut my mouth and just pitched it next week because it's a great story arc.
Yeah. There's a lot of really good stuff in that time period. Many Deaths of the Batman. Year 3.
Detective rocked in those. I don't even know what year that was because I was like buying back issues of those things, and when would that have been? 95, 90? I don't even.
It was 90, I think 90, 91.
There you go, Polly. This is the alternate cover.
Up on screen and.
I like the Batman one a little better because it's just got some splatter on him and he's just got that deadpan look.
I like this one though. This really makes the Joker look sinister.
Yeah, upon the first look, it's like, oh, his knife is flaccid. Oh wait, man, that's a crowbar. You know. Man. You know, I really think that celebrity. Okay, I think your boy Zach is dead right when he says you guys need to accept something. Comic books have only and probably will only ever have one true authentic celebrity, and that's Stan Lee. If you can go to the grocery store and nobody knows who you are, like, and I mean nobody, you're not a celebrity. Like even Todd McFarlane can walk around in relative anonymity. Someone as big as Todd motherfucking McFarlane. Like, and he's like a multimillionaire across lots of genres, not just comic books, right? This is, he made his original fortune in comic books, etc. And you get the story. But it's, I think that's an important thing to realize because you have people in comic books now that have gone on to, they're e-celebrities. It's like everybody knows who these people are. The outside of comics that have never read comics don't want to read comics, and they look to them like, oh, I got this following and blah blah blah, and they're being interviewed by different people for Variety and stuff like that. And it's really not important what they do. They write and draw as a means to maintain their e-celebrity. A lot of these people, if you know what I mean, and I'm toying with the idea that maybe that is what led to the downfall of comics, like in terms of the quality of the stories, because they're just not really trying anymore. Like back when you were toiling in obscurity, like book authors do, you're trying to produce the best craft you possibly can because unless you're Stephen King, you're not a celebrity. You're just trying to write the best fucking story you possibly can. Nobody knows who you are, so you're only going to be known by your name as opposed to this whole celebrity aura that surrounds you, Because outside of Stan Lee, you guys will never be celebrities. Stop trying to be. And E-fame is fleeting and vapid, more so than regular celebrity is.
Well, that's true of a lot of different people. Look at a lot of the rappers on like Instagram and SoundCloud, stuff like that. They're not real celebrities, but they get like a minute of fame. How many people have we seen come and go in YouTube that were famous for like a hot minute and then they're nobodies again?
Good point. I don't know. Just think about like Mudpack, and you just like it wasn't. Nobody was trying to create the greatest event, blah blah. And we're gonna promote the shit out of it and all this other shit. Like it was just written as a 6-part story arc. Blah, it was done 4-part actually. I think story arc, whatever. I mean, isn't that the best stuff? The stuff that's just written to be good in and of itself. I mean, isn't that how awesomeness occurs?
Generally speaking,
like Craven's Last Hunt, for example. I mean, ambitious idea, but not promoted as, Anyway, you know what I'll never forget in terms of like promotion of things like that? Remember the double page splash ads in DC Comics that just said Bendis is coming.
Yeah, Yeah.
All because he was going to come over and write Superman.
Yep.
No, correction. He was coming over to ruin Superman.
Touche. And it's like, this guy had the name, right? And he did. He has a high profile name in comics. And this guy's coming over here. So let's get everyone re-excited or newly excited or whatever about Superman as a comic book. Bendis is coming! But the way they approached it just screams. Okay, well, actually, it tells you two things. One, the way promotion works. And two, how available advertising space is in DC Comics if you can waste a 2-page splash with that shit, because ain't nobody dumping all kinds of money to advertise in comic books anymore because the circulation's so low. Who cares? Most advertisements in comics are for that company's comics. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Anyway, we've done pitches. We've done the thing. Time to wrap it up. So thank you for coming by, ladies and gentlemen. It was a good time. I need to go lay down now. Thank you very much for everybody who came by. Thank you for keeping the chat lively, which it definitely was. I wish I could interact more, but I'm a plotting male, and unlike women, I cannot divide my attention in 15 different ways. I've heard that women can multitask better. I don't know if it's true or not, but there you go. Thank you very much to everybody who donated. It is sincerely and greatly appreciated. You guys rock. Gentlemen, did you have any final thoughts?
Thank you for the donations. It's very generous. You guys are awesome.
Yes, same. You guys are definitely a highlight for us coming back. We always love interacting with the chat, and we love having these discussions for you. So yeah, we sincerely appreciate all of you, even just coming out. You don't need to donate, but we graciously appreciate when you do.
Oh yeah, and yeah,
so thank you.
And anybody who's listening in the future, please feel free to comment below. I get a chance to read them all and respond to most, and even Jack and Quiz come by sometimes to see the comments that are directed at them particularly. I should say even, they do, but in any case, something I wanted to add on. I love how lively chat is, and I know how it can be being a chat member, like of different streams that I like, where it's like, no one's reading this anyway. Yeah, actually, the people that are running the stream are reading it, even if they don't get a chance to type back to you. So it's like, you may not be able to answer questions, but I love reading all the stuff that's going on, and I love how active everybody here is in terms of like commenting and, ooh, that's gross, or hey, that comic looks awesome, or, you know, Polly or moron, what the hell did you just say? You know, all these things. Everything except for what BG says is great. So, you know. Thanks for coming out, everyone. We'll see you again next week.
Who knows what he did?
Have a good night.